Hey everybody, we made it! We made it onto Facebook Live. Oh my gosh. Okay, we had some technical difficulties, but no fear. There was no fear. We knew we were going to make this happen. So I'm Laura Saltman. I'm the creative director and one of the hosts of Well World TV, a network that's dedicated to sharing inspirational content all over the world with the most amazing people. It's Well World Wednesday, and my guest today is Tracy Litt Lester. She is the creator of Litt Factor and the most amazing book, Worthy Human, which I love, by the way. I read it. I took it in. And the funny thing is I write similar books, but you and I have a different language, the way that we speak. But we both speak the same thing, and that is about letting go of fear. So let's talk about fear. First of all, you say there's different types of fear. So there's the danger, and then there's sort of the emotional fear that we're all tied to. So talk about that.
Yes. Hi, I love you. I'm so glad we're doing this.
Me too.
Everybody who's watching, this is going to be phenomenal. So I think that's really where we need to start any fear dialogue, is the difference between danger and fear. And really fundamentally, danger is helpful fear. It's the type of fear that stops you from walking down a dark alley alone, that stops you from going into the ocean when you see a fin swimming in the water, that reminds you not to touch the stove when it's red and hot. That's helpful fear. That's danger.
Hey everybody, we made it.
For the purpose, I did the same thing. For the purpose of all the work that we're doing here, everything that happens in Well World and personal growth and reaching your potential and accessing your capacity and changing your habits, we're talking about unhelpful fear. We're talking about the fear that's getting in your way of taking action, of using your voice, of prioritizing yourself, of setting boundaries, of showing up in the full expression of who you are. That's the kind of fear we're talking about.
That's the fear that all of us have. I mean, I always say, like, if you're not having problems, if you haven't dealt with some circumstances, no matter what it is, then you wouldn't be here. You're not going to be here. You're not here as a human, as a soul evolving and learning and growing. You're back on the other side, on the other side of the bridge, wherever we all go in the spiritual realm. And so if you're telling people you have a perfect life, liar, you're lying.
Yes.
Sorry, but you're lying. So life is not perfect. It's not meant to be perfect. We are meant to evolve beyond fear, to learn how to think with the mind of love. That is it. It's love over fear. So you are a mindset coach. You help people. We're also friends, so I know a lot about you. And I also know that, like, you are one of the most positive people. I won't call you fearless, because that would be not true, because again, we all do have something. But you definitely have this way about you where you just make people feel like they can tackle and conquer the world, right? So
Yes.
give us some tools for how you can release fear.
So the first thing we need to do is acknowledge that everything you've learned about it before watching this live right now is a lie. Because what we're influenced to believe is that fearlessness is a thing, which it's not. We're influenced to believe that we can eradicate fear, which we cannot. And we are also told to kind of just like power through, like overcome, push on. And all of those outdated ways of mitigating fear actually only make the fear more pervasive and louder and more powerful, which keeps you losing and your fear in your mind winning, right? So it's the first thing we need to kind of go, okay, join us right now, paying attention to your thoughts, have an open mind. Don't think you've heard this before, right? Because in gaining the new understanding I'm going to give you, it's power. Like, understanding is power, right? And then when you apply the understanding, that's how you shift into transformation. That's how you show up differently. That's how you start to be different and feel different and create different for yourself. So let's just acknowledge it. Yeah. I mean, awareness, you cannot notice, you can't change what you don't notice.
Right.
So we have to be aware too. So what I want to invite us all to start to do as a movement is shift our relationship with fear. Because in actual fact, it's an indication of your awesomeness. My fear is ever present all day, every day because I am pushing out and growing and healing and expanding, and it's a constant, beautiful thing. So I want us to start to look at fear as that kind of indication of our expansion, and really start there.
Yeah.
Then,
so fear is your friend, right? Fear is your friend.
Yeah. Fear,
and if you're not looking at it, you're not able to transform it. You're not able to go beyond it. You can't hide it and bury it, because I always say it's the thought beneath the thought that's actually creating for you. You know, you can say anything out loud and you can think positive and be happy, but it's really those thoughts and emotions that are buried deep inside of us that are really, really, first of all, creating what we're experiencing in life, but also the cause of the fear. So it's that fear.
Fear is emotion. Fear is an emotion. Fear is a feeling, right? And everything originates with thought. But to your point, when we are on this journey of really loving our fear and having it shift us, what we need to understand, and why fear is our friend and we love it, is because it has great intention. Like, I need everyone just really lean in. Your fear thinks it's doing a great job for you, because its role is to show up like a loyal dog every time you're walking into the unknown, you're in an unfamiliar situation, you're slightly uncomfortable. Your mind actually uses fear like an undercover agent to get you to stop. Because to your mind, anything that's unknown is imminent death. So we're going to love that fear because it's showing up because it loves us so much that it doesn't want us to die, right? So we're not going to be mean to someone that has a good intention like that. That's what I mean by shift your relationship. Realize, like, okay, so your mind's wired for survival and it hates the unfamiliar. That's what we're up against from a wiring perspective. And the part of your mind that houses your fear response is the exact mind that it originated in primitive days when you and I were sexy cave women. Okay?
We were sexy cave women.
We were still, all of us were just as hot then as we are now.
Yeah, yep.
So to really understand, like, that part of our brain, it's back here, it's your amygdala in the back of your brain, and your primitive brain, even though it's almost 2020 and we're like online doing all these wonderful things, that part of our mind hasn't evolved at all.
Yeah.
So understanding your fear this way and go, okay, my fear is biological. Got it. It's part of my humanness. Got it. So anytime I think about being different, I take a step towards doing something I've never done before, or I move myself out of what's familiar to me right now, my mind's going to trigger my fear response.
Yep.
Got it.
Fight or flight response.
Exactly. Yep. And it's going to start to, that's where your self-doubt comes from. Am I good enough? What if this? What, are they going to like me? Are they not going to like me? I need to stop. I'm not sure. All of that stuff that when you're believing your thoughts, you'll just listen to, and then you sit back down. And then 3 months later, you're like, why am I not any further on than I want it to be? Why am I still in that marriage that's toxic? Why is my business not making any more money? You know, it's still, these are like the things that we're not shifting on because we're allowing fear to be more powerful than we are.
Yeah, you know what? Those words are such a trigger too. It's like, if someone said to you in life, sit back down, would you be like, oh yeah, you're right. I'm probably not good enough. I'm not gonna be able to create this. And that's exactly what our fear does, our ego does to us. It tells us to sit down, shut up, deal with things the way they are. So our job and our work in order to transform is to get beyond that, to say, no, you sit down.
Right.
You sit down, because I know I am capable. I know that I am. And I always say that you can express out loud, right? You can say it out loud and talk to your fear, right? But even taking that further, there's these tools that we have, and you can talk about some of them that are mental tools where it's not even using words, but our mind is so powerful that we can beat the crap out of our fear using our mind. So talk a little bit about that.
Yes, we can. And before I can even tell you guys about that and give you that gift, I have to actually give you the first part of shifting our relationship with fear that's essential. We have to create a sense of safety in our bodies and our nervous system before we can even shift into not believing our thoughts and changing what we think, right? Because if we understand what I'm saying fundamentally, you're in an unknown, you're in the unfamiliar, And your mind and body read that as not safe as a result of your fear response being triggered. So before you can take any further action, we need to interrupt your nervous system. And we need to tell it the truth, which is you are safe, right? Your mind and body actually think you're going to die, but you're not. You're just going to go speak on that stage or use your voice in your relationship or finally set that boundary with your mother or whatever you're going to do, right? So as soon as you start to recognize the fear coming, which is, somewhere in your body, I feel my fear in my knees. A lot of people feel in their chest, a flushed feeling, a discomfort in your body, sometimes a erraticness in your breath. And the first thing we do is to put our right hand, put it right on your heart, right? Just every time I do that, right? Everybody just do that. Every time you do, the first thing you're doing, you're like, okay, you're like holding yourself. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And then you do exactly what Laura just did. Close your eyes. I'm going to close mine too. And you start by taking a few rounds of deep breaths. So we're just going to breathe in and really kind of hold it at the top. You're looking to interrupt your nervous system. And then slowly exhale through your nose. Do it again. And slowly exhale through your nose. And then you simply tell yourself like this, you're safe. You're safe. What's real is you're safe. You're lovable. You're whole. You matter. You're safe. Right? And then from there, you can open your eyes back up, or you can stay in that space if you need to longer.
But I can our eyes closed. Let's just totally be chill and zen.
Yes. And we can stay there.
I'm a meditation teacher. So for me, this is exactly the very first thing we do in every single class is we do exactly what you did. We get to that centered. And so it comes from meditation. It's a meditative practice to and it's amazing how just 3 breaths can, I would say, rebrand you. They can rebrand here.
Whether I actually tattooed it.
Back. You're still there. I have you. You're still there.
Something happened.
That's okay. Live TV, girl. No fear.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Deal with it. We handle it. Your camera's still there. So mine, I'm just going to get my camera back, but you're talking. You're good.
Okay, we're good. Whether I was saying I tattooed it on myself, whether we're talking about fear or anything else, breathing on purpose is what must happen for you to create space, grow to the next level of awareness so that you can shift and make new choices, right? So what we just did in that little practice is we created a sense of safety that our minds and body needed in order to do the rest of the work I'm going to walk you through as it pertains to fear. Because if you're tweaking out and you're running in anxiety and your mind's going down what I call the rabbit hole of hell, you will never be able to do the other things you want to do to love your fear, right? So the first thing you do, hand on heart, drop in, close your eyes, and just, because the truth is, you guys, we are always safe, right? Unless you're in an actual dangerous situation, which we already covered, but that's not what we're talking about here.
Right. That's not the fear.
We're talking about that phrase, I can't get out of my own way. No matter what I do, I can't see. That's all fear. Every block that every human has, everywhere, the underpinning is fear. Fear of rejection, fear of unknown, fear of not being enough, fear of success, fear of failure, right?
Yep.
And if you love your fear, you don't have to have any of it be a block ever again.
Yeah.
Right.
By the way, I just want to mention it because I see people are popping it on. Just if you have a question for Tracy or you have a question for either of us, just put it in the comments. And that's why I keep looking over here just to see what's going on. So just drop us a comment and we will definitely answer your questions about fear. And you're right. It's everything. And I think what you said is true, that people don't realize that not only do we have a fear of success, but also, of failure, but also of success. I was talking about that the other day with someone. There's as much as we want to be successful, the fear comes in when you think about, well, what if I am successful? And then what if I don't have time for my family or my friends or to go to the gym or whatever it is? So it's like we're just always in this hyper zone where we cannot get out of our brain. And it's just it's in meditation, it's called the monkey mind. Our monkey mind is just like going, 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 going. And it really is you. So again, I said, you and I, we both say the same thing and we use different language. So my language for it is less doing, more being. When you're in your doing mode, I've got to do this, I do this, and I go, oh my God, am I going to do this and this? Then you're not in that calm, centered state that you say you need to get to. So that's our being mode. When we're in our being, when we're able to know that we're safe and feeling love, and that we're always guided, that there's this beautiful universe that guides us in the world, that we are actually safe and we can let go of that fear. And the difference in energy, like I'm sure you can feel it now too. It's like, oh my God, you can feel when someone is nervous or angry, upset. And you can feel when they're just like chill and calm and centered, totally different energy space.
Yeah, well, and what you were saying before about fear of success, foundationally, fear is an energetic blocker. Mm-hmm. When you're not loving your fear, when you're allowing fear to be more powerful than you, it actually blocks you from flow. It blocks you from receivership. It keeps you in a lower level vibrational frequency than if you move through it and love it and you choose to be more powerful than the fear. And the other interesting thing, like what you were saying about fear of success, we want the success, right? But then we don't want it at the compromising of our freedom. Or how is that my family going to take that? And can you imagine? And that's why the universe isn't giving you what you want, because you aren't giving it the right. You're saying, I really want this, but what if it does this? I really want this, but if it affects this, I really want this. Not if it comes at the cost of that. What the hell is the universe supposed to do with that? Yes, I want it. No, I don't. Yes, I want it. No, I don't. So just be aware of that, right? Whether you're live or replay, what are you hiding, avoiding, or hesitating on because of fear right now? And we all have something, right? And start to take a look at that and peel the layer back. What am I really afraid of? What variation of fear is it? Rejection, not enoughness, success, failure, unknown, just what is it? And start to see it. Because when you start to see it, now you're also able to do something different with it. Absolutely. Super important. Yeah. Super important.
So important. It's so important. And, I wish everybody would find, these type of interviews and really listen about how to reduce that fear. I mean, facing your fear is something that you actually, I think, need to do every single day. Like you said in the beginning, like I have fear every single day. I have fear every single day. Like, and I talk to dead people. So and they tell me stuff, right? Like they tell me about how the other side of the universe, how this whole world works. Like, I mean, and I know I've written 4 books I've channeled from the other side. I know exactly all the laws of the universe. I know exactly how things work. I know exactly how to create money. I know exactly what you're talking about. And do I want this? No, I don't want this. I want this. No, I don't want this. That's exactly what we do. And I know these principles upside down, inside out, but damn it, I still have fear. I still have fear because we are human. We are human.
Yes.
Embrace your humanity and know that you're going to deal with fear.
Yes. And stop believing the outdated ways that we were taught to mitigate it. Absolutely. You're never going to be fearless. So let's stop making that a thing. Stop trying to eradicate it, because that's not the aim. That's not possible. I don't care who you are, because fear is biological and we are humans, and it is a part of our humanness. And then once we have created a sense of safety in our bodies, right? The next thing we get to do is actually love it. And I'm going to show you, right? So let's pick out something for each of us, and you guys play with us at home. What's something that you're not doing because of fear right now? What's something that's going on and fear's in the way?
Well, it's funny because actually one of the things I did that I had the most fear about, I actually did today. I sent an email to some people just saying that I was letting go of it, that I was letting go of something I'd been doing for a long time. And I'd been afraid to let go because I just felt like it was me, but it was the old me. It was the old Laura. It was the Laura who came from fear and not feeling good enough and letting people walk all over me, Laura, and letting people talk down to me and not seeing my worth, Laura. And so I I had this actually reading, like, because I do, intuitive readings with somebody last night, and we literally channeled somebody from the other side. This woman's, well, I don't want to say because it's private, but that person spoke to me, and she shifted me in that moment because somebody coming from the other side said something to me and made me realize, like, oh my God, why am I giving my power away? Which is something you talked about. Like, I'm not going to give my power away anymore. And so this morning I was like, you know what? I'm done with that fear. I'm done with it. I know who I am. I know that I've transformed from who I was in, an entertainment reporter before. And now I am, doing one-on-one coaching and doing retreats and writing books and writing these amazing, channeled books. And I'm like, that's who I am now. And that's who I want to be. And I'm going to get rid of the fear of what people think of me and what people say and just step into my power. And so that was me facing my fear.
Okay. And as a result, you sent the email.
Yes, I did.
Right. Okay, good. So we're going to pretend, for the sake of teaching this and the exercise, that it was this time yesterday and you weren't ready to send the email and you were in that place. You're like, I don't know, right? You're in fear. Okay. Yep. So everybody's bring up into your mind's eye, like, what's that thing you're not doing? And then I want you to take that fear and imagine that it's sitting across from you on the other side of the table, like in opposition to you. So right now we're going to play with Laura's, and it's that fear that's going, you can't send the email. Oh my God, what are they going to think? All that, which is not true at all. It's just your fear response keeping you from doing the thing. Okay. So we imagine it on the other side of the table, right? So then what I want you to do, and I'm going to do it too, is I want you to take your hands and put them out like this. Okay. So your fear is on the other side of the table.
Yep.
And then you're going to lift the fear up, almost like you're taking a baby out of a high chair. So lift the fear up from the other side of the table and bring it over to you. Yes. Bring it over, right? Like you're holding it. You can even put it on your lap, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Ooh, that's heavy.
It is heavy, but I'm glad you said that. This is the variable. We have to no longer play the days of, I want to be mean to my fear, screw you fear, why are you here? That exacerbates the fear. Yeah. The only way to diffuse it is to be responsible for it and love it, right? So right now it's in your lap and we're going to look down at it. Right? And you're going to go, hi, fear.
Hello, fear.
And you just talk to it. And it sounds like this. Hi, fear. I see you. I know why you're here. You're here to try to protect me. You're here to stop me from doing something that you think is going to kill me, but I promise you I'm not going to die. I acknowledge you. I appreciate you. I know you're thinking that you're doing a great job. But now you're going to sit with me instead of against me. Right? Can you feel what's going on here, right? Energetically, it's like you're loving it and then you're acknowledging it and you're saying, and I love you and thank you. But ultimately, here's the crux. Your mind, AKA your fear, has zero idea what you want out of this life, how capable you are, how much potential you have. And if you allow the fear to be pervasive and you listen to what you think, your mind will win and you will lose. No gray, everyone.
Yep.
No gray.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's when you go, you're not across from me anymore. You are with me. I'm going to acknowledge you and appreciate you for trying to keep me alive. But I want a hell of a lot more than just survival.
Yeah. So as you're talking, what keeps coming up in my mind, Tracy, is like the way that we talk to children, right? So if you think of fear like a child, so when you talk to a child and they've done something wrong that they are, know they're going to get in trouble for, and you start yelling at them, right? So if that fear is right there and you're yelling at you, like, why did you do that? I can't believe it. Okay, so then what does your fear do? Then it envelops you as well. And so everything gets angrier and angrier. But when you speak to that fear, that child in a manner, listen, I understand that, you were doing what you thought was best. And then it completely shifts. So as you were talking, that's exactly what I kept thinking about. It's shifting the way that you speak to yourself, the same way that you speak to, a child, or speak to your fear, is to talk to your fear that way.
Exactly. And it really diffuses it. Like it completely just sucks the wind out of its power. And now you're back in the power position so that you can access some of these other things you get to do. So the next thing you get to do is then go do the thing that fear was trying to stop you from. take the action. You guys, I can't say this enough. Whether you're a universal law lover, you could be all the way on the right-hand side of woo, or you could be all the way left in terms of data and science. I don't really care. But nothing's going to happen in your life if you don't get off your ass. Action.
We're the perfect marriage, by the way, because we've said this before. Like, I'm the woo, and you're we're like Grace and Frankie. If you ever seen Grace and Frankie on Netflix, I am so Frankie. I'm like,
yes, I'm like half. I'm half Frankie and half Grace. I love that show.
Come more to my side, though, right?
Well, everything is energy.
Learn from one another, and that's the one thing that I love about everybody that is doing this work is no matter how long you've been doing it for, no matter how many books you've written or how many podcasts you've been on and courses you put out there, I promise you that you can always learn from somebody else because we're thinking our thoughts and doing our thing, and you're thinking your thoughts and doing your thing, and so what you're going through might be different from what I'm going through, and so there's always something to be learned from somebody else.
Oh, 100%. It's the whole reason why we're here. It's our connectedness and our ability to learn more information and shift our perspectives and meet someone that teaches you something or shows you something even better that makes you believe something different and step out of the way you usually think and the way you usually are. That's growth, right? Yeah. That's growth. I mean, that's the whole point. So I love it.
And you and I are so excited, like, because we both know that, like, you can get rid of your fear. You can work through it. You can change your life. You can get, happier and more joyful, and you can do the things that you say you think you can't do. So we get excited when we talk about it or talk to people because we know that it's possible. So that's all we're trying to do is say, hey, it's possible. You can do it. Okay, so let's on this path of getting rid of fear.
Yes. Okay. So you've interrupted yourself. You've created safety in your mind and your body. You've then loved the fear. So now it's diffused. So then I love for you to take action next. Like if you're actually taking notes and you want a step-by-step process, here it is. And you take action. And then the other thing that's massively important is that you don't believe what you think. Because even once you've taken the action, your fear, because it's still unknown. Here, I need to share this because it's really important from a visual frame of reference. As soon as you go to do something you haven't done before, let's just use the example of speak on a stage because it's actually the number one fear, bar none, right? Like stage fright. Everybody has the dream where they go up on stage and they're naked or something like that. It's just what happens. So if you're going to go speak on a stage and you've never done that before, the first thing that your mind does is it scans all of the memories of your past. Your mind is a blueprint of the past. So it scans, I call it a fear Rolodex. Like, does she have anything in there that showed me she's done this before and lived to tell the tale? Nope. Sound the alarms, trigger the fear response, and get her to stop. Right? So it's really important. That's literally what happens. It's like, oh, I got nothing. You have anything? Nope. All right, this must mean imminent death. And we're right back in the cycle. So be aware that I am very literally meaning anything different than who you are watching this live or replay, or anything that feels different or anything that's not familiar is going to welcome in your fear. And that brings us to why it's so important to not believe our thoughts, because even after we take action, your mind's still going to try to convince you, but did they like that? Was that okay? I'm not sure. I probably should never do that again. Who am I to really do this? And all of that reel of doubt is born out of fear. It's just a fear-based thought reel that goes on in an effort to continuously keep you small and the same.
And it doesn't matter who you are. Let me tell you just really quickly. I won't say who it is, but obviously I come from the world of entertainment, and there's somebody very famous, very well known, like as A-list as they come, that I know that after everything they do, every single thing would get on the phone and call their mother and say, was that okay? Did I do okay? And we are talking high level, making multi-million-dollar. Still called their mom after every performance to say, how did I do? Because they needed that. They just needed someone to say, you did okay, because they weren't secure enough to say, hey, I did amazing, right? And so it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter how high you get in this world, that we all are just looking for someone to say, You're safe. You did great.
Yeah. Yeah. And you get to be your own approval.
Yeah.
Through this kind of work that I do, you become your own validation, right? And you start to really understand that you have all the power. That's what inner power is, right? Your ability to cultivate a new relationship with yourself, honor your inherent worth, and use your mind like a tool so that you can be, do, have, and create everything that you want in your life. And
so
everyone has it too. Like there isn't like half of you that are listening have it and half of you don't.
right.
Like this is what we all are equipped with. It's just you don't know how to access it until you're taught.
Yep, absolutely. Until you're ready too. When you're ready.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Oh yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you actually have a retreat that you're doing in Palm Beach, which I'm so sad that I can't go to because I'm actually doing something else when I'm sad, because I would have totally been right there with you. But tell me about it. It's at the Palm Beach, which is amazing. Oh my goodness.
Oh, amazing. I totally agree. Maybe that needs to be their marketing.
Yes.
But it really is. If you've never been there, it's magical. The environment and the energy there is absolutely magical. So we are doing 3 days and 2 nights, a full immersion personal growth retreat with me at the O Spa. And when I say immersion, like there isn't an option to only come during the day and go home at night. This is an all-inclusive ticket. You are going to come, you are going to be in the container of extraordinary energy, of elevated conversation, and you are going to heal, massively heal, have the emotional release that your soul has been longing for. You're going to do mindset work and identify your limits. We have a magnificent breath work instructor flying in who's doing a gorgeous session so that we could release some of the cellular stuff that we have going on. And then we're going to do future self embodiment. Who are you going to become? Like this time next year, it's going to be December 11th, 2020, like that. And I see, I serve thousands of people over multiple countries, and I see it over and over and over again, where there's a lot of wishing and hoping and wanting and praying, right? But to really actualize, to be able to say, this is who I am and this is who I'm becoming. And 1 year from now, this is what my life will look like and feel like. And this is my business and career and relationships. And then one of my most fun things that I love to do is teach you how to make choices from the place of who you're becoming. Because if you continue to wake up every day thinking the same thoughts, feeling the same feelings, putting your focus and attention into the same reality, you will never be able to move forward. We have to be able to think beyond our current reality. We have to learn how to make decisions from the woman that we're going to be a year from now. And that also requires us learning how to love our fear in a massive way, because what I'm asking you to do is believe it before you see it. Start to take action and make decisions from a woman that you technically aren't yet. Does that make sense? Are you tracking with me? And that brings a tremendous amount of fear.
I'm trying to find the link so I can put a drop in comments, just so you know.
Oh, groovy.
I'm on a hunt for it. So as you're talking, I'm like hunting over here trying to find the link. So
I can shoot it to you too, super fast.
Okay. Yeah. So if you can send it to me, then I can drop it. Okay, good. She just dropped the link in. Thank you, Deborah K, for dropping the link, because clearly I can't multitask.
Oh, sweet.
I can let go of fear, but I can't multitask. Okay, good. So there's the so Deborah K just drop the link in there if you're interested in finding out more information about.
Yes. Yes. There are 10 spots left, so don't wait. Don't hesitate. Don't hesitate. This is one of those things where you have to take the leap, because this is actually another perfect segue into fear. Your mind's going to try to tell you don't have time. You'll see if you can get off work. Right. Your schedule's too busy. Your kids have things to do. Your spouse might be out of town. It's a lot of money, and it's all crap, you guys. It's all crap. It's all just fear. Excuses. It's all fear, exactly, keeping you the same and keeping you safe. And your mind is going to try to stop you, because I go to multiple events a year, right? And my mind always tries to enter in. Are you sure? And I go, no, you know what? I know my life is created and my business is elevated based on the power of my decisions. Is based on me going, every decision I make brings me closer to the vision or not.
Yep.
So if you really want what you say you want, you need to start making those kind of choices, because nothing changes if nothing changes.
No, you should, and you have to show up. And I always say, whenever I talk to people who are doing events, that my life literally changed because I went to somebody's event that I wasn't even like really wanting to go to. My dad had just died. Like, I am just horrible things had happened. We just were supposed to adopt, and the day the baby was born, they changed their mind. Like, I was in like the shitstorm, not even wanting to get out of bed. And I had signed up for this event, and I was like, I really don't want to go. But something inside of me, that inner voice, the one that tells you that you're good enough and that things can change, that's pushing you, said to me, hey, you know what? You should go to this event. So I went to the event, and somebody got up and spoke. And she wasn't the first speaker. There was a few speakers there. There was a few speakers. And so she got up and spoke. And from that moment, I literally, everything changed. Like, I all of a sudden showed up. I was like, oh my gosh, I need to change. Like, this is it. And that was the moment that changed my life. That was about 6.5 years ago. And ever since I went to that event and heard that woman speak, I haven't been the same. So if you're being called to something, listen to that inner calling.
Yes. And say yes. Like, how many times do you get invited to go somewhere and you're like, no, I'm not sure, or like another, networking event. If you have an actual conflict, like you have a different event to go to or something, great. But how many times do we just not? And we miss out on so much. Like, the universe is constantly trying to meet you, and constantly trying to give you these segments and these relationships. Actually, how we met is a prime example.
Yeah.
I was invited to go to a brunch on a Sunday.
That's right.
I don't really consider myself, do I go to like kind of businessy type networking brunches on a Sunday? No. Yeah. But I was invited, and I said, you know what? I like the person who invited me. I know she has other people that are like-minded. I'm just going to go. And it wasn't down the street, and it wasn't convenient by any stretch. I have 3 kids. It was a Sunday, right? So, but I went, and across the table from me is Laura.
Yeah.
And we kind of have this, all right, we need to know each other moment. And our relationship is cultivated as a result. And we've supported one another in personal things and professional things. And that's what happens when you say yes. Yep. Beautiful things show up.
Yeah. And you say it like you always say it in your way, and I say it in my way. Like, the thought of going and speaking to random strangers that I've never met is like that. It's not so much fear with me, but it's a subset of fear. And that subset is like, Lord help me, I don't want to do this. But I was like, you know what? I really could use to go out and meet some people who speak my language, the language of the woo. So yes. And then there you were. And I knew, like, you just know, like, when you get there, you're like, oh, I was totally meant to be here. And I'm so glad that I showed up and said yes. So that's the same thing. Like, show up and say yes. Just
exactly. Exactly. So say yes. The link is in here somewhere. There's tons of details. Yep. It's going to be 3 days and 2 nights. Yep. And it's all inclusive. The ticket price that is there and available for you guys includes everything. All you need to do is get there. It's your food. It's your entertainment. It's a 3-day event. It's your 2-night stay at the O Spa, which is the most ridiculous place you'll ever stay. I can confidently say that.
All right. So check out the link and check out Tracy's event. It's Worthy Human Live. And by the way, buy her book, Worthy Human. It's on Amazon, right? Yes. It's honestly amazing. Like I said in the beginning, like, we both write books, but we write the same thing with completely different words. And when I work with clients, I know they're not ready for my books. My books are very, very woo, as you would say. They're very super high consciousness. They're not for everybody right now. They're just not in that place. Your books speak my language in a very matter-of-fact way that anybody can understand. So when someone is struggling with fear and they're struggling with owning their own worth, I always recommend. So I've recommended your book to so many clients of mine, and I'm like, you got to get Worthy Human, because it will help shift your mindset. So get her book, Worthy Human, on Amazon as well, and check out the link for her Worthy Human Live event, and just run to Tracy. She will literally just shift everything inside of you. She has this amazing way about her that you just have to experience it in person, live and in person.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Coming on Facebook Live on Well World, and I'm looking forward to our next collaborations. And,
Absolutely.
and
Thank
you'll
you for
come back.
having me.
We'll tackle some other topics too.
I love it. I'm available anytime. Whatever we need to do, I'm in.
Okay. All right. Have a great night.
Bye, guys. Good night.
Okay. Bye, everybody.